member of the House of Reps, will be joining us in just a moment. We represent Newi South, Ekusigo Federal Constituency. And some of the things will be, now, as we speak, there are so many things that Nigerians are looking forward to. There are a couple of other things on the floor of the National Assembly. One has actually passed. The 4 tax bills, they've passed. But the issues around discrepancies in terms of some of the sections, argument over some things that are error beyond clerical errors, that's on one hand. There's also the constitutional amendment that is also going on the other hand. Then the big one is also the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, so that we're going to have new Electoral Act that will govern the new cycle of elections we'll be having from 2026, where we have some elections at the sub-national levels, and then before the big one in 2027, which is called the 2027 general election. Now, this is one place that Nigerians need to pay attention to, because a lot of people can agree, and we can almost believe that if our institutions are strengthened, such that places like INEC are strengthened and insulated from some of the shenanigans we see being carried out by some members of the political class, then we can begin to restore confidence in the life, in the hearts, in the minds of citizens to be able to believe that their votes count. There's one thing that is absolutely difficult to do to Nigerians now, and that's been to convince them that their votes count, because when they see what happens, they are convinced that their votes do not count. And the only way to rectify that in a democracy is to strengthen the laws that govern the electoral process. And so that is going to be the first part of my conversation with the lawmaker. But just let me run you through a few things as far as the Electoral Act Amendment is concerned. Now, one of the provisions, one of the things that's been touched by the amendment of this Electoral Act, is going to be the Electoral Act 2025, I think repealing the 2022 that led us to the 2023 presidential and governorship and all the elections that took place, is issues around limitation on election spending, because it is believed that because politicians spend a lot of money trying to get their positions, that is why corruption is inevitable, because somehow it's like taking a loan from a bank and they have to pay back this money. Now, that may not be a reason. It may be inexcusable, because if you're coming to public office, you need to serve. But the people who are framing these laws are beginning to look at ways to strengthen it, to see how they can make this as, simple as possible, as far as, or accessible, that's the key word I was looking for everyone. But let's bring in my guest, who is a member representing Newi North, Newi South, Ekusigo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. Honorable Peter Uzokwe joins us from Abuja City. Honorable Uzokwe, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm grateful to be here.
Honorable Uzokwe, let me start with the one that Nigerians are a bit, they're literally squirming on. There are a couple of things that have been passed by you and your colleagues, the clause-by-clause consideration of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. One of which that was applauded is the electronic transmission of results in Section 60. So now it is mandatory, it is a law, it is not just a guideline that has to happen. That has been applauded. But one of the parts that has been criticized by a lot of people is the part that has to do with influencing delegates to cast their votes during primaries. What happened? What we understand is that you lawmakers did not agree to criminalize vote buying during primaries. Is that true?
That is not entirely true. We look into what is happening holistically. Number one, when you say that you influence somebody to vote in primaries elections, how do you prove it? We looked at it 2 ways. Number one, your opponent can bring up somebody that will give that person money to influence him. How do you prove it? By the time you struggle to prove that you don't know this guy, you knew him, look at the extent I knew him, the time must have gone. How do you prove that the person talking that you gave him money or influenced him has something to do with you? That is number one. Number two, it is not only financial inducement that can make somebody influence the outcome of anything. You can promise somebody something. Gentleman's agreement. I will give you this, I will give you that. Come and vote for me. It is not only financial inducement. You can give somebody land. You can give somebody car. You can give somebody any other thing that person might be in need at that particular time. So we looked at it. How do you prove? Can't your enemy use it against you?
Honorable, my apologies. Just a moment. Honorable, Nigerians listening to you, I think even I am trying to wrap my brain around it. If it is easy to prove vote buying during regular election, it's not rocket science to prove vote buying during primaries. We've seen primaries in this country by political parties where it is literally rain of dollars. And we can go on and on. In fact, I think it's the 2022, some of the primaries that happened, a gentleman in the north, I can't remember, I need to Google that, who actually was sharing the money he got as largesse from being a delegate. It's like they are the bride of every, especially for indirect primaries. So when you say, how do you prove? You cannot prove. Your enemy can use it against you. I don't know whether that comes across as tenable in the minds of Nigerians.
It is. It is. Let me use the general elections that we have been indulged in. We can only hear about, or we saw vote buying. How many of these vote buyers have we prosecuted? The giver and the taker, that in equal proportionate of that offense. I am not saying, if I stand here before Nigerians and say, we don't spend money, we don't influence election outcomes, I will be the greatest liar. But the onus, he who alleges must prove. You can fly dollars. Did that person tell you that Mr. A gave him the dollar? Secondly, you are talking about Mr. A gave $10,000. Mr. B gave 10,000. How do you go on with such an election? You disqualify every other person and start afresh. How do you go about it?
I think...
let me come.
Yeah, my apologies. I will allow you land. It's just we're due for another break. My sincere apologies. Because it looks like the lawmakers are looking for a way, or the politicians in this are looking for a way to dismiss this in its entirety. I don't know whether Nigerians truly agree. If it will come to punitive measures to be able to deter this, it has to happen one way or the other. But we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. Member representing Nnewi North, Nnewi South, Ekusigo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, who's from Anambra State, is my guest, joining us from Abuja studio. Honorable, thank you for your patience. Honorable, I guess the question I'm asking without being direct, as you continue in your thought, is, in the minds of Nigerians, there has to be a way to criminalize vote buying during primaries. But you can go on, sir.
Jeffrey, let me plead that you give me new phoenix wings to fly at my desires. We don't have time. Let me tell you, most of the things that are bothering common persons, common voters, it is not even where you are going to. Number one, let me fly around what we amended. How can the courts, our courts, stop determining who represents the people? That's number one. The masses might vote for Mr. A. The court will give them Mr. C, representing them, against the wishes of the people. Number two, how can we stop one person standing for primaries in two different parties? You go to party A and you stand for primaries. you lost. Party B will pick you. We looked at it and we said, only those people who are in the registers of any political party 30 days before any primaries can stand the election, can vote and be voted for. Which means 30 days, if you go to Party A to stand the election, you have submitted the Party A has submitted their register 30 days before that election. Number two, how do we, in 2026 now, we will start doing everything about the election. Governance will be reduced to BRS minimum. 1 year to that election. How do we give people value for their money? We decided that every activity, like primaries and every other thing, not later than 180 days. But INEC, in their wisdoms, submitted that they need at least 210 days. These are the things we should look at. And let me come in here and let me thankfully greet my people. When I stood for my election, nobody collected money from me because I did not have that money. That is why I'm working hard to satisfy my constituents. It was a common knowledge that Peter Uzokwe did not have 1 naira to give, and they say we must vote for him. I neither cheered rice nor 1 naira. Thank God for Emefiela. But here I am today. How will I pay these people back? Go and check me out. I've been cheering rice without election coming. I've been empowering my constituents, the petty traders. These are the things that the voters will encourage us. The voters own us, not we. We cannot weaponize poverty in order to subdue people to vote because of money. Giving people in America, you will spend money maybe in communication, but in Nigeria, because we the elites, we have weaponized poverty, that people will ask, give me money for me to vote for you. And I ask them, please stop accepting money. When you accept 20,000 naira for a vote, 10,000 naira for a vote, you are selling your 4 years.
All right, Honorable, let me come in here because of time. I think I agree with you totally that all the issues you've just raised now, they are equally important. But we're looking at issue of access and not leaving the space entirely to people with war chests. That's why we're probing the things that can limit access, which is some of these inducement during primaries, especially for indirect primaries. But let's go to another part as well. And that has to do with election spending.
Can I answer that?
Go ahead, please.
The electoral law can never be inconsistent with Nigerian constitution. First of all, financial inducement in our Nigerian constitution is an offense punishable by our law. So we are only doing things about electoral law. But ab initio, inducement of any kind is a criminal offense.
All right, just to wind down, I want to find out from you the provision, the consideration that has to do with concluding post-election litigation before inauguration. Has it been passed by the House of Representatives? Did you hear me, Honorable? Did you get my question? Yeah, I was saying that, you know, one of the things that was advocated for is that election litigation, post-election litigation must end before inauguration. Has it been passed by the House of Representatives?
No, you know, we've not gotten to that. We are going section by section. But be rest assured that 360 members of our House of Reps, we are all in for it. That our elections litigation must be done before inauguration of that house. Let me, if I don't support that, I won my election, I was in court for 1 year. I was just inaugurated 8th of February 2024. Can you beat that? 1 year outside.
All right.
So
okay.
I am one of the members that are championing that litigation must be dispensed of before inauguration.
All right, Honorable, thank you so much for your perspective. If we had more time, I would have doubled down on a lot of things that has to do with access, including spending limits for campaigns and all of that. But that's the much we can take. Honorable Peter Uzokwe is a member representing Nnewi North, Nnewi South, Ekusigo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. He represents the people from Anambra State. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I hope to be here to discuss this extensively.
Not a problem. All right, that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Christmas is 2 days from now. Make sure you have a great time.